Have you ever been inside a cave? When I was a child, my parents took us to Mammoth Cave, and I remember standing in that enormous room, enormous space, when all of the lights were turned off. And I was terrified. It was so dark. I'm Nancy, and I'm glad you're listening into Lakeside's 40 Days Lenten series. My image is a cave. One of my favorite stories in the Bible is the story of Elijah, who was in a cave waiting for God's presence to pass by. And a great wind came, and then an earthquake, and then fire, but God's presence wasn't discovered in those things. God's presence was made known in the sheer silence from inside that cave. On Good Friday, Jesus' lifeless, battered body was lowered off the cross and was carried in a cloth to a cave. And it was placed in that cave, and a stone was rolled across that tomb, cave, and it was dark inside. And I wonder about the time between Good Friday evening and Sunday morning. What was going on inside that cave? How was God's presence, that mysterious presence, there? When I was on the island of Iona a few years ago, on Holy Week, we had the opportunity to follow out of the church on Good Friday, follow the cross that was being carried out into the graveyard, where there was a tiny little stone chapel. And the men carrying the cross ducked under the short doorway, and you went in and placed the cross on the floor, on the stone floor of that tiny little chapel. And then the instructions were given to all of us standing around the graves that when we felt ready, we could come forward and reach into large bushel kind of baskets and grab out fistfuls of dead, dry leaves. And we were invited to throw them in onto that cross that was lying on the floor, and to consider what about our lives would be different if Jesus had stayed in that tomb. What if Jesus' body never emerged from that cave? How would my life be different? Would I have any kind of faith? How would I look at life? It was a powerful moment for me to think about that. We don't know what happened inside that cave from Friday evening until Sunday morning, but we know that God's love is powerful and mysterious. And so on this day between Good Friday and Easter morning, I invite you to think about that cave and think about your life and what would be different if Jesus' body had stayed inside the cave. And then I pray that you awake on Easter morning with a joyful relief and gratitude for God's power in our life. Thanks.